Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be covering the early and night slate on DraftKings for Sunday, March 4th. We do have two split slates today, so I figured I'd give 5 plays for each slate. 5 guys that I like in the 3-game early slate, and then 5 guys that I like in the 4-game night slate. I will most likely be playing both slates, so I figure I'd just go ahead and cover both. So we'll start off with the early slate, but before we do get started, guys, I would really appreciate it if you drop a like on the video. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. But yeah, starting off with this early slate, really isn't a loaded slate when it comes to stars. Don't have anybody over 10K on the slate. So I think a guy like Devin Booker on this slate is definitely a guy I'm trying to force in. Really the only stud besides like Booker, Oladipo, and Beal. Those are kind of like your studs on the slate. I just really like Booker here. The guy's been playing so well lately. Great matchup against the Hawks. In competitive games lately, Booker's been playing 40 minutes. You look at his last 4 games, all those games have been pretty competitive, at least down to the wire. And Booker's played 39, 41, 39, and 39 minutes. Been playing so well, 50, 66, 48, 61 DraftKings points. Even with Elfrid Payton on the Suns now, Booker's still been getting plenty of assists, been playing just really well, been doing a lot for fantasy. I think he's a great play here against the Hawks. I think this game will be competitive, and we'll see Booker play his full minutes here. I know he's expensive at 9,200, but the guy has been playing so well lately, has a lot of upside, can easily get 50 to 60 in the spot. So I like paying up for him as kind of like my favorite stud. And then finding some mid-tier plays, maybe some value that we can use to fit in a guy like Booker. I like John Collins here. Mid-tier play, you can play him at power forward or center. I think he's a great play today at just 5,900. Great matchup against the Suns. You love targeting the Suns just with any team and with just any position. The Suns are so bad defensively. I think this Phoenix-Atlanta game is definitely the game to stack in the early slate. So I'm going to have a lot of exposure to it. And a guy like John Collins is a guy that I really like in this game. Been playing really well lately. Been getting minutes. Last 4 games, 30, 24, 27, 32 minutes. For fantasy-wise, been pretty consistent. 30 DK points in 2 straight games, 20, 24 before that. Great matchup against the Suns. I think John Collins can easily get close to 30 DK points, if not exceed that here. And I really like him on the slate as sort of a mid-tier play. You can play him at power forward or center. I think he's a great option that you can use to maybe fit in a stud or two. A guy like Booker and Oladipo if you want to pay it for them. But then the next guy I like, getting some more exposure to that game, is small forward TJ Warren at 6,400. Kind of feel like he's too cheap here. This is a really good spot. Atlanta, not a good defensive team. Both of these teams are not good defensively. Just like I said, guys, this Phoenix-Atlanta game, stack it up. A lot of good plays in this game. TJ Warren's a guy I like from the Phoenix side. He did do pretty well earlier this year against the Hawks and put up 41 DraftKings points in 38 minutes. Lately, he's been playing a ton of minutes. In his first game back from injury, or I believe he missed a couple of games because of injury, he played 42 minutes in his first game back, so no concerns about the minutes. TJ Warren's going to play him, Devin Booker. Those guys are going to be playing close to 40 minutes in competitive games. If this game stays competitive, just so much upside for guys like TJ Warren, for guys like Devin Booker. Warren, kind of feel like he's too cheap. I think he's a really good mid-tier play. If you're going to that range at small forward or power forward, I do really like him on the slate at 6,400. And then just getting more exposure to that game, another guy that I like, you can play him at shooting guard or small forward. Kent Bazemore at 5,700. I think he's a great play here. Great matchup against Phoenix. Kent Bazemore kind of feels too cheap, just given this matchup. Has played once this year against the Suns and did put up 37 DraftKings points in 29 minutes. Even with the Hawks kind of tanking, Bazemore's still been getting pretty solid minutes his last few games. 28, 26, 26, and 32 minutes. I can reasonably project Bazemore for close to 30 minutes, if not exceed that. Usually in competitive games, Bazemore and some of the starters will play 30 or more minutes. And if he's going to play 30-plus minutes at just 5,700 against the Suns, I don't see how he doesn't pay off this price tag. So if you're going to shooting guard, small forward, you're going to that mid-range. Kent Bazemore is a guy that I really like on this slate at just 5,700. And then my final play of my 5 plays for the early slate, a guy that I like is small forward or power forward. Really good cash play, I feel like, if you're playing cash games on this slate. Markieff Morris, just 5,400. Solid spot here against the Pacers. Really just like Markieff today in cash because I feel like he's way too cheap. Just for the minutes he's playing lately and for how consistent he's been. You look at his last 4 games, 21, 29, 35, 26 DraftKings points. Minutes have been trending up lately. He's eclipsed 30 minutes in 3 straight games, 32, 36, and 31 minutes. 5,400 is just too cheap of a price for Markieff if he's going to be playing 30 or more minutes. So I think he's a great cash play. Very likely he gets you 5 to 6x on this price tag You could use him in tournaments. There might be better tournament plays on this slate, guys that kind of have more upside. But as a solid, safe play, you can use in your cash games. Markieff Morris, 5,400, definitely lock him in there. But yeah, these are my 5 plays for the early slate. Devin Booker, TJ Warren, John Collins, Kent Bazemore, Markieff Morris. 5 guys that I really like on this 3-game slate. Obviously, I didn't do position by position just because I'm covering 2 slates and I didn't want to take a lot of time. Mainly my quick thoughts on this early slate, definitely stack up that Phoenix-Atlanta game. Just both ways, get a lot of good like Booker, Warren, if you can fit Payton in, I think they're good plays. Atlanta, you can find some value there with guys like John Collins, Kent Bazemore, guys that are really, really cheap. Just sub 6K can use to maybe fit in a stud or two. But that's really it for the early slate. Some quick coverage there. Moving on to the 4-game night slate and going over 5 plays that I like for this slate. This slate definitely has a few more studs in it. We got 3 guys over 10K on this 4-game night slate. Giannis, Embiid, and Anthony Davis. Right now, Anthony Davis isn't a guy that I really want to fade, especially since he's under 12K. Once Davis gets to like over 12K, I think we can definitely consider if he's worth that price. But under 12K with Boogie off the court, that's just too cheap of a price for Anthony Davis. And this is a really good matchup against the Mavericks. We all know the Mavericks, they're a terrible rebounding team, so Anthony Davis should definitely be able to dominate the boards. I can see him easily getting 15 to 20 rebounds in this game. Very likely this is a smash spot for Anthony Davis, and he goes off for 60, 70, 80 DraftKings points. He has a ton of upside. He's got the most upside out of anybody on this slate. That's one of the reasons I kind of chose him over Giannis for this 4-game night slate. Giannis is very cheap, just 10K. I think going Giannis in cash does make sense because of that price. If you can fit Giannis and AD in, I do really like that. I'm not seeing a ton of value on this slate, but Giannis AD, definitely a route I think you should be looking to go to. But nobody on this slate has more upside than Anthony Davis. If you fade Davis, he could totally end your night. He could totally go off for 80, 90 DraftKings points. Wouldn't surprise me at all here. This Dallas team just can't defend bigs. They can't rebound. AD lately been giving you a 50-point floor. Pretty much a bad game from Anthony Davis right now is 50 DraftKings points. We kind of saw that his last game against the Spurs. He had a bad game in that game and still got you 49.75 DK points, 26 points, 15 rebounds, and an assist. And if Davis has one of his good games here, goes off for 90, close to 100, you're pretty much going to be dead. Your teams are going to be dead. I don't recommend fading Davis, but I think Giannis is an intriguing option you could go to in tournaments if you do want to take that risk and fade Davis. But obviously, since we did jam in Davis here, we're going to have to find some value. I think there are some good value plays on the slate. We could have a lot of value open up with the Kings. They are on a back-to-back here, so we could see them rest some of the veterans, give some young guys more minutes. I think that is going to open up Skal Labissière as a value option here at 4,800 in a matchup against the Knicks. As I'm recording this on Saturday night, the Kings are playing the Jazz, and it looks like Zach Randolph did start in that game, so there's a good chance on a back-to-back Zach Randolph is not going to play today. Willie Cauley-Stein did not play on Saturday. Chance he misses as well, so Skal Labissière could be looking at 30 or more minutes in this spot. And at just 4,800, if he's going to play 30 or more minutes against the Knicks, don't see how he doesn't pay off this price. I think he's one of the better value plays on this 4-game night slate. If you try to fit in a stud or two, you should definitely be locking in Skal as a value option, especially if we can confirm before lock that Zach Randolph is not going to play today and he's going to rest. But even if Randolph does play in this game and even if he starts, I don't see him playing full minutes again, especially on a back-to-back. So I think Skal kind of a great value option regardless. But then looking for other plays I like going back to a power forward or center. You can use this guy at both position. Jarrett Allen at 5,500 against the Clippers, I think is a really good play here if you need sort of a mid-tierish value play at power forward or center. Been on him a lot lately. Just the minutes have started to increase. The production's been very good. His last few games, he's been getting about high 20s in minutes, close to 30. Did eclipse 30 minutes his last game against Sacramento and played 34 and put up 35 DraftKings points. 28 minutes against Cleveland, 23 DK points. Got 23 minutes against the Bulls, 37 DK points. This is a spot where Allen, a big guy, really going to have to play minutes to guard DeAndre Jordan. Jahlil Okafor, I believe he's going to return for this game, but Okafor hasn't been playing a ton before he got injured. I think we still see Jarrett Allen play at least 25 minutes. Very likely he's able to get a double-double in 25 minutes, especially against this Clippers team that's been allowing a ton of fantasy points to centers this year. So I like using Jarrett Allen as a mid-tier play. Another guy that you can definitely consider if you're trying to fit in a stud or two. He does open up some salary for you at just 5,500. And then my final 2 plays are both going to come from the Knicks. 2 guys I like from the Knicks that you can use. This guy might be more of a tournament play today, but Michael Beasley, I feel like kind of too cheap at 5,600. Beasley has so much upside at this price tag. Obviously, the price has been falling lately just because of his last 2 games. He's only played 26 and 20 minutes. The minutes have started to decrease for Beasley. The production's been very bad, only 11 and 12 DraftKings points his last 2 games. But Beasley is still starting. He's still getting at least 20 to 25 minutes. If he's playing really well, he's going to get close to 30 minutes. And this is a cupcake matchup for Beasley going up against the Kings. So at 5,600, I feel like he's a really good play. Might not want to use him in cash because we don't really know what we're going to get from him. But for tournaments, Beasley, if he gets his full minutes, again, gets back to full minutes, he could definitely be looking at 30, 35, 40 DraftKings points in this spot and really crushing value. So I like him as a mid-tier play. You can play him at small forward or power forward on DK. And then my final play to fill out my 5, going back to the Knicks. Another guy I like from that team, you can kind of use him as sort of a mid-tier value play as well. MARKIEFF MUDIAY at 5,300. Like him in the spot against the Kings. MUDIAY, kind of feel like he's a little bit too cheap for the minutes he's starting to see. The minutes have been trending up for MUDIAY. They've been consistent. His last 3 games, he's played mid-20s, close to 30 minutes. Last 3 games, 25, 31, 26 minutes. And the production's been solid as well. Last 3 games, 29, 40, and 22 DraftKings points. MUDIAY does have good upside. If he gets 30-plus minutes against the Kings, could definitely go off for 35 to 40 DraftKings points and possibly get you 7 to 8x on this price. I know a lot of people have been playing Trey Burke lately because he's been playing really well off the bench and has been good for fantasy. But I kind of like MUDIAY more. I think MUDIAY, his minutes are a lot safer. He's obviously the starter, and I feel like it's just more likely that he has the better game here. So I like him at 5,300 if you need someone to use at point guard to save salary. I think he's a really good option. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for the 4-game night slate. 5 guys that I like: MARKIEFF MUDIAY, Michael Beasley, Anthony Davis, Skal Labissière, and Jarrett Allen. Good luck to you on whatever slate you're playing today, whether you're playing the early slate, the night slate, or if you're playing both. Good luck to you, and hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully it was helpful. If you did enjoy it, just make sure you give it a like. I would really appreciate it. Comment anything down below if you have any questions, or you just want to tell me something. Be sure to leave it down in the comments. Always check in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter as well, at the DFS_GOAT. Feel free to hit me up there throughout the day. Always active on Twitter. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck tonight on both slates, guys. Peace.